Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Canmala Academy. Please subscribe our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to receive further videos. And also students, do share, like and comments on our videos. Today, as per the request of many students, I am here to teach you or to discuss on the topic of electricity. Now, what is electricity? Electricity is defined as the energy produced due to the flow of electron or change in number of charge. Electricity, it is the energy produced due to the flow of electron or change in number of the charge. On the basis of these two types, flow of electron and change in number of charge, electricity can be divided into two parts. They are current electricity and static electricity. Now, what is static electricity? The electricity produced due to change in number of charge of a body. The electricity produced due to change in number of charge of a body is called static electricity. It is produced due to friction. For example, rubbing of rod with fur or rubbing of the plastic with fur. If you rub this plastic pen marker with the fur, then it can pick the paper. So the electricity produced on that particle, that rod, is called static electricity. It is also produced during lightning due to the friction between cloud. The electricity produced during lightning due to friction in cloud is also the example of static electricity. It cannot be stored. But current electricity, the electricity produced due to the flow of electron in a conductor is called current electricity or electric current. It is produced by cell, dynamo, generator, etc. It can be stored. This current electricity can be stored, and we can divide current electricity into two types on the basis of change in polarity, whether it changes its polarity or it does not change its polarity. So the two types of current electricity are alternating current AC and direct current DC. The two types of current electricity are alternating current and direct current. What is alternating current? The electricity which changes magnitude and polarity is called alternating current, and the current which does not change magnitude and polarity is called direct current. Alternating current is produced by AC generator or dynamo, whereas direct current DC is produced by DC generator or cell. Alternating current, it can be altered by using transformer. The value of alternating current can be altered by using transformer, but the value of direct current cannot be altered by transformer. Alternating current has non-zero frequency, but direct current has zero frequency. Now, this is the diagram of AC circuit. Look here, these symbols denote the AC circuit. This is resistance, this is switch. Similarly, this is resistance, this is switch, and this is cell. These symbols denote the DC circuit, and these symbols denote the AC circuit. Graph of this is the graph of AC, graph of DC, graph of DC. In the graph of AC, look here. This upward is considered as the positive charge and the downward curve is considered as the negative charge. Polarity means change in the direction of the charge. Look here, the direction of charge is increasing here, and it is the positive direction, and again to the negative direction. Here the direction of charge is changing continuously in the alternating current. The direction of the charge is changing continuously. So the polarity of AC current changes, but in direct current, look at, but in direct current or in DC, the charge is not changing. There is a single direction, unidirectional flow of the current. So the polarity of the DC, our direct current do not change. So it has a zero frequency. Yeah. In the AC current, the direction of charge is continuously changing. Direction of charge is continuously changing means the polarity is changing continuously, and it has the non-zero frequency. As it's the direction of the charge is changing continuously, so it has a non-zero frequency. Now, what is one complete cycle? The duration between the positive peak charges or two negative peak charges is called one complete cycle. Now, what do you mean by the frequency of current electricity supplied in Kathmandu is 50 Hz? What do you mean by it? It means that the current changes the polarity 50 times in 1 second, or makes the 50 cycles in 1 second. This 50 times in 1 second, it makes the maximum positive value 50 times, or it makes the 50 cycle in 1 second. This exactly means the polarity. I hope you understand about the concept of polarity. Many of you are still confused what exactly the polarity means, what exactly the polarity changes means. Polarity changes means there is a change in direction of the charge from positive to negative, again negative to positive, positive to negative in AC current. Now, what are the advantages of AC over DC? The main advantage, voltage of alternating current can be increased or decreased by using transformer. We can change the magnitude of voltage of alternating current according to our desire by using transformer, and alternating current can be converted into DC by using rectifier. Alternating current can be transmitted to the long distance without much loss of energy. It can be carried to the long distance with less energy loss. What are the disadvantages of AC over DC? The disadvantages of AC over DC are as follows. The peak value of AC is higher and it is dangerous to use and needs a better insulation. We need a better insulation while using the AC current. AC cannot be used in the electrolytic process like electrolysis and electroplating. During the process of electrolysis and electroplating, only the DC currents are used. And also, AC gives huge and sudden shocks, but DC gives the repelling shocks. When you touch the alternating current, then we feel a great shock, but it is less in the DC, or it is less in the direct current. There are four effects of electricity we will discuss in this unit. They are heating effect, lighting effect, chemical effect, and magnetic effect. The first one, heating effect. What do you understand by heating effect? When a current is passed through a conductor of high resistance, then the conductor becomes hot, very hot, and produces heat. This effect of current electricity is called heating effect. This heating effect is the principle of this heating effect is used to construct electric heater, iron, electric kettle, etc. Now, how when passing electric current through a conductor of high resistance produce heat? Please listen carefully. When you pass a current through a conductor of high resistance, then the resistance opposes the flow of electron. So the work has to be done by the electron to overcome that resistance, and this work done is converted into heat energy. What is heating element? The wire which is used to produce heat by passing electric current through it is called heating element. The wire which we use to produce heat by passing electric current is called heating element. Generally, nichrome wire is used as heating element. And nichrome wire is the alloy of nickel 60% and chromium 40%. You have to know the composition. It is important for your SC examination also. Nichrome wire, it is the alloy of nickel 60% and chromium 40%. Why nichrome wire is used as the heating element? Nichrome wire is used as heating element because of this following reason. Nichrome wire has very high resistance. It has the high melting point. It has the melting point of about 900 degrees Celsius. Beyond the temperature of 900 degrees Celsius only it starts to melt. And nichrome wire does not react with oxygen at high temperature. Now, lighting effect of electricity. When a current is passed through a wire of high resistance, it becomes extremely hot and produces light and emits light. This effect of electricity is called lighting effect of electricity. Now, what is lighting element? The wire which is used to produce light by passing electric current through it is called lighting element. Generally, tungsten wire or tungsten metal is used as lighting element. Why tungsten wire is used as lighting element? Tungsten wire is used as lighting element because it has very high resistance and it has high melting point of about 3400 degrees Celsius. In lighting effect, we'll discuss about two types of lamp, the filament lamp and the fluorescent lamp. At first, the filament lamp. Let us look at the structure of the filament lamp. You can see at the base there is a terminal, and on the just above the base there is a aluminum covering. In aluminum covering you can see two pins. You can see the two pins. Now the aluminum covering supports the glass of the bulb. There is a thick wire here, and this is your glass stem. This is your filament. This is your supporting wire, and the space is filled with the nitrogen or inert gases. Filament lamp. Filament. We have to understand what is the meaning of filament. The lighting element of filament lamp is a coiled wire of tungsten, which is called filament. The coiled wire of tungsten. The coiled wire of tungsten in a filament lamp is called filament. The filament wire is very thin and highly coiled to increase the resistance. Now, during the operation of the filament bulb, the temperature of filament becomes 29 degrees Celsius, very high temperature. At this high temperature, the filament wire becomes very hot and it emits light. The air is removed from the bulb and vacuum is created. But again, after vacuum is created, it is filled with the inert gas. So to prevent the evaporation, it is filled with the inert gas. And another reason for filling the inert gas by removing air is the air contains the oxygen. Air contains oxygen, and at high temperature, metal reacts with the oxygen, and breaks, and the tungsten wire breaks and stops emitting light. So to prevent the filament from breaking, it is filled with the inert gases or nitrogen. This filament lamp converts 10% of electrical energy to light energy and 90% into heat energy. Its efficiency is 10%. The efficiency of filament lamp is 10%. And a filament lamp generally works for 1000 hours. Its lifespan is about 1000 hours. Now let us discuss about the fluorescent lamp. Let us look about the structure of the fluorescent lamp. Structure. You can see a glass tube, white glass tube, which is generally called as discharge tube. It is called as discharge tube, and it is seen white from outside due to the covering or coating by the fluorescent powder. You can see two tungsten electrodes. This is the tungsten electrode on the both sides of the discharge tube. Listen carefully. The AC supplied is connected. One of the terminal is connected with the choke wire or choke, and it is connected with the one terminal of the first electrode. Now second terminal of the AC supplied is connected to the first terminal of the second electrode. Now the second terminal of the first electrode and the second terminal of the second electrode both are connected with the starter. The discharge tube is filled with mercury vapor and inert gases. It is also filled both with mercury vapor and inert gases. Why it is filled with mercury vapor and inert gases, we will discuss later on. Now, let us look the function of the starter. What is the function of the starter here? Why starter is used in the fluorescent lamp? The starter provides the high initial current to the choke. It provides the high initial current to the choke. It converts the current. It increases the magnitude of current and passes through the choke. What is the function of choke? Provide ignition voltage. To provide ignition voltage means this choke provides the high voltage to the electrode. It provides the high voltage to the electrode, and it also limits the current flow. After the fluorescent lamp operates, it limits the flow of current. At first it provides very high voltage, more than 220 voltage, and if the fluorescent lamp starts running or it is working, then it provides about 110 volt, and it provides just a 110 volt after it starts to function. Now, what is the function of mercury vapor? Electrons collide with the mercury vapor to produce UV ray, and the fluorescent powder, UV rays fall on the fluorescent powder to emit the visible light. I am going to explain shortly about the function, working mechanism, and later I will write and explain you. At first, the starter provides the high initial voltage. The starter provides the high initial current to the choke wire, and the choke gives the high initial voltage here. It provides the high initial voltage so that it can break or ionize the inert gases here. Inert gases to create the free electron. When the electrons are created, it started to move from one electrode to another electrode. During the movement of the electron, the free electrons collide with the mercury vapor. It collides with the mercury vapor. After it collides with the mercury vapor, it forms the UV rays, invisible UV rays. Invisible UV rays are produced, and these invisible UV rays, when they fall on the surface of the fluorescent powder, it produces or emits the visible light. Working mechanism of the fluorescent lamp. When the switch is on, the starter provides high initial current to the choke, and the choke provides high voltage to the electrode, so that the inert gas inside the tube is ionized. When the high voltage is provided, it becomes hot. The gases are heated and the gases gets ionized, and the electrons are released. These free electrons start to move from one electrode to another electrode. On movement, collides with the mercury vapor inside the discharge tube, and UV rays are produced. The so from UV rays falls on the fluorescent powder to emit visible light. Look here. I think you are now clear about the using of mercury vapor inside there and the coating of the discharge tube with the fluorescent powder. The mercury vapor, when collides with the electrons, it emits the UV ray, and the so from UV ray, when it falls on the fluorescent powder, produces the visible ray of light. Its efficiency is 30%, means it can convert 30% electrical energy into light energy, and remaining 70% into heat energy. Its lifespan is about 3000 hours. Now this is the advantage, or this is also the advantage of using fluorescent lamp over filament lamp, because the lifespan of the filament lamp is 1000 hours, but the lifespan of fluorescent lamp is 3000 hours. It can work for more hours than the filament lamp. And also the fluorescent lamp converts 30% of the electrical energy into light energy, whereas the filament lamp converts only 10% of the electrical energy into light energy. The tungsten wire has high resistance and produces heat. It is not used as a heating element. Why? Because tungsten metal, when used as heating element, it is in contact with the air. So when it is in contact with the air and is heated, it reacts with the oxygen, and the tungsten metal breaks down. So the continuous production of heat is not obtained. So the continuous production of heat is not the production of heat is. Now we are going to discuss on some of the give reason questions based on the lighting and the heating effects. Question number one. Though tungsten wire has high resistance and produces heat, it is not used as heating element. What is the reason behind it? Let us discuss. Tungsten metal, when used as heating element, is in contact with the air. That means it is contact with the oxygen, and when it becomes hot or when it is heated, it reacts with the oxygen and it breaks. It is broken down. So the production of heat is not continuously produced, as the circuit is broken or the circuit is broke. Number 2, why nichrome wire is used as the lighting element, though why nichrome wire is not used as lighting element though it has high resistance. We have studied that nichrome wire has high resistance and it becomes hot and produce heat, isn't it? Why it is not used as the lighting element? Because the nichrome wire does not produce sufficient visible light on heating or when heated on heating, so it is not used as the lighting element. Next question, why mercury vapor is filled in the fluorescent lamp? The reason behind the filling of mercury inside the fluorescent lamp is to produce the UV ray, because the free electrons when collide with the mercury vapor produce UV ray. Next question, why fluorescent powder is coated on the inner surface of the fluorescent lamp? Because the UV rays produced due to the collision between the electrons and the mercury vapors when falls on the fluorescent powder emits the visible light, falls on the fluorescent powder emits visible ray of light. Now let us discuss about the magnetic field of current electricity. When a current is passed through a conductor, a magnetic field is developed around the conductor. This effect of current electricity is called magnetic effect of current electricity. This was discovered first by Hans Christian Ørsted in 1820 AD. He was performing certain experiment and he placed a current carrying wire over the compass needle. He found that the compass needle get being deflected. And when does the compass needle deflects? It deflects when it is near to the magnetic field. When it is near to the magnet or any magnetic field. And again, it changes the direction of current. At the time, he found the deflection of compass needle in the next direction. So, he was the first person to find the magnetic effect of current electricity. Electromagnet. Electromagnet is a temporary magnet formed by passing electric current through a solenoid with a soft iron core. Solenoid. Now what is solenoid? The cylindrical spiral arrangement of the insulated copper wire is called solenoid. The copper wire, insulated copper wire in the cylindrical form, spiral and cylindrical form is called solenoid. This arrangement of the insulated copper wire in the form of cylinder is called solenoid, and the inside materials is called soft iron. Whenever we pass current through the solenoid, then this soft iron core behaves as a magnet. Now, what are the factors on which the strength of the electromagnet depends upon? Strength or power of the electromagnets depends upon. The strength of the electromagnets depends upon following three factors: the number of the turns of the coil, the more the number of turns of the coil, the greater the number of turns of the coil, the greater will be the strength of the electromagnet. The amount of current in the coil, more you pass the current inside through the coil, the stronger will be the electromagnet, and less the current in the coil, the strength of the electromagnet will be less. And the nature of core material. What types of materials? What is the nature of the materials of the core you are using? It also affect the strength of the electromagnet. Using soft iron core increases the strength of electromagnet. Now let us study which end of the iron core behave as north pole and which end of the iron core behave as the south pole. The side towards the positive terminal behaves as a north pole and the side towards the negative terminal behaves as a south pole. If you alter the pole of the battery, if you change this side as positive and this side as negative, then this side behaves as north pole and this side behaves as south pole. Now dear students, what are the characteristics of electromagnet? The characteristics of electromagnet are as follows. Electromagnet is a temporary magnet as it becomes magnet only when current electricity is passed through it. The strength of the electromagnet can be increased or decreased as required. According to our requirement, we can increase or decrease the strength of the electromagnet. The pole of the electromagnet can be reversed. These are the characteristics of electromagnet. Next question, why electromagnet is highly useful, or what are the advantages of the electromagnet? The advantages of electromagnet are, or the electromagnet is highly useful because of the following reason. Number one, as it is a temporary magnet, so magnetic property can be developed when required. When we require magnet, we can develop magnetic property in it. Shape and size of the electromagnet can be changed as required. According to our requirement of different shapes and different size, we can change or we can obtain the electromagnet according to our requirement. Next, the strength can be changed as required. We can change the strength of the electromagnet according to our requirement. Now, what are the uses of electromagnet? These are the advantages of electromagnet, and now the uses of the electromagnet. The use of electromagnet are as follows. Electromagnet is used for constructing electric bells, loudspeaker, electric motor, etc. Number second, for lifting and transporting the large magnetic material from one place to another. It is also used in medical practice for removing the iron particle from the wounds or from eye. Also, electromagnet is used in separating magnetic substances from non-magnetic substances. Dear students, on our next video we will discuss on the topic on the electromagnetic induction, dynamo, generator, electric motor and transformer. So please subscribe our YouTube channel and please press the bell icon to receive more videos, and thank you for watching our channel.